Hi, my name is Anthony Turner, and in just a moment, I'm going to share an incredible true story with you. A story about how a 390-pound morbidly obese man, who just 3 months earlier had collapsed to the floor in agony, heart failing, sweat pouring down his face, fighting for breath as he lay on the floor on the verge of death, not only survived this ordeal, but was able to quickly and easily shed 142 pounds in just 90 days, transforming his health and adding years to his life expectancy in the process. This is the story of how a man who doctors had warned would be dead inside 6 months stunned the medical community and forced doctors with decades of experience and knowledge of the human body to rethink everything they thought they knew about losing weight. And remarkably, he did it without calorie counting, without gastric surgery, without starving himself, without medication, and without following any kind of diet at all. In fact, this man was able to effectively trick his body to melt away fat on a daily basis without cutting out any of his favorite foods. And in just a second, you're going to discover how to do this too. Based on breakthrough research carried out at the Center for Genome Sciences and System Biology at Washington University School of Medicine, and published in countless peer-reviewed medical journals, this controversial discovery has already been used to help 27,783 people lose weight quickly, easily, and effortlessly, even if they'd found it impossible to lose even a single pound before. This game-changing discovery, which has already made headline news in The Guardian, USA Today, The Scientific American, and The Washington Post, is cast-iron proof that your weight gain has nothing to do with calories, nothing to do with your metabolism, nothing to do with what time you're eating, and incredibly, nothing to do with how much you eat, despite what the mainstream media and medical profession has been telling you. And instead, all down to a nasty, fat-building bacteria residing in your gut that is not only resulting in your gaining weight, but is also making it literally impossible for you to shed that weight and achieve the lean and toned physique that you want. But what's really going to make you angry is that there's a very simple solution to the problem, but it's currently being suppressed by the greedy multi-billion-dollar pharmaceutical industry, who are doing everything in their power to keep this discovery hidden from the public for reasons I'll reveal very soon. I've already been physically threatened and had 4 separate lawsuits filed against me in order to stop you from learning the truth about why you found it such a struggle to lose weight, even when you do everything right. So I urge you to watch this video while you have a chance, because there are no guarantees that it will still be here tomorrow, or even in a few hours from now. So whatever your plans are, put them on hold for just a few more minutes. Make yourself comfortable and be sure to watch every single second of this controversial presentation. Because, in as little as a few weeks from now, you could be staring at your reflection in the mirror, feeling overjoyed at the new slimline figure staring back at you, full of confidence and renewed self-esteem, instead of experiencing those familiar feelings of disappointment, guilt, shame, and self-loathing. And more importantly, by using this method to lose weight quickly, safely, and 100% naturally, you'll also be improving your health, well-being, and life expectancy too, by dramatically reducing your risk of succumbing to weight-related health conditions, such as heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, osteoarthritis, kidney failure, liver problems, gallstones, neuropathy, and much more. So whatever you do, don't leave this page, because whether you're 18 or 80, have been trying to lose weight for 10 days or 10 years, have been suffering from any of the weight-related conditions mentioned above, or would simply like to know how to stop them affecting you in the future, then keep watching, because your future weight, health, and perhaps even your life depends on it. Hi. As I mentioned earlier, my name is Anthony Turner, and a few minutes ago I told you how a 390-pound man, whose doctor had warned could die of a heart attack at any moment, lost more than a third of his body weight in just 90 days, and transformed his health and life expectancy in the process. So how do I know about this man? Well, because that man was me. Here's a picture of me before I stumbled on this fat-burning breakthrough, and here's a picture of me now. And hey, if these before and after shots look too good to be true, and you're feeling a little skeptical about everything I've just told you, I completely understand. After all, conventional wisdom tells you that the weight you've put on is all down to how much you eat, how much exercise you get, how lazy you are, how fast or slow your metabolism is, right? Yeah, that's what I thought too. And that's exactly what 27,783 other men and women thought before they put this method to the test and reaped the rewards of this powerful fat-burning weight loss trick. People just like Monica Taylor of Little Rock, Arkansas, who said, "Just 60 days ago I was overweight, unhealthy, and miserable. I had been trying to lose weight for years and had been on a whole bunch of diets, but they were all impossible to stick to and meant cutting out whole food groups, which never made sense to me. Since I found your program, I have lost 24 pounds in 2 months. I've never felt better. Thank you, Anthony. And then there's Trevor Barry from Portland, Maine, who wrote in to say this. I was so confused about why I was putting on weight. I ate very healthy and cut out all junk food and alcohol. But over time, I just kept getting fatter and fatter. Eventually, I was barely eating anything at all but still couldn't shift the weight. Since watching your video, it all finally makes sense. I've lost the weight so easily, and now I have a flat stomach and a six-pack for the first time in my life. I have so much confidence now, and it's all thanks to this program. And Lisa Schroeder from Brooklyn, New York, who wrote in to say this. I've been overweight for as long as I can remember. I was bullied at school and have always suffered from confidence and self-esteem issues. I must have tried every weight loss program, fad diet, fat-burning pill, and miracle supplement ever made. But guess what? None of them worked. And now I know why. This program has been an absolute revelation. I've lost 40 pounds effortlessly, and I didn't need to cut out any of my favorite foods. This is nothing short of a miracle. Those are just 3 of the many thousands of real-life success stories that I've received over the last few months after finally making this incredible weight loss breakthrough available to the public. And I'll be sharing a few more with you later in this video. But what you probably want to know right now is what this weight loss trick is and how you can start using it to shave off the pounds yourself. Well, don't worry, because I'm going to reveal it all in just a second. And I'll also be showing you all the medical research and scientific studies that prove beyond all doubt why this method is so insanely effective at melting away pounds of stubborn fat on a daily basis. This information is going to shock you because it goes against everything you thought you knew about the best way to lose weight. It will also excite you because of what this means for your future. And it will probably make you extremely angry too, because as you watch this, Big Pharma are pulling out all the stops to shut me down and prevent you from discovering just how easy it is to burn fat, lose weight, and achieve the body you really want. So what is this breakthrough method that has so angered Big Pharma, and how did a dangerously overweight average Joe like me, who had absolutely no medical training or nutritional knowledge at all, become the first guy to experience its incredible fat-burning benefits? Well, I'm going to tell you. But before I do that, I want to share a quick story for reasons that will become obvious to you in just a moment. Ever since I was a kid, I've struggled to keep my weight down. At the age of 10, I weighed 140 pounds and was nicknamed Chunk. You know, the fat kid from the film The Goonies? I was bullied mercilessly at school, and my confidence took a beating. By the age of 15, I weighed 210 pounds, and my weight gain was starting to get out of control. The weird thing was, my mom had taken all kinds of courses and spent heaps of time reading up on how to eat healthy. She followed all the expert advice and only ever bought fresh, natural ingredients. I wasn't allowed candy, fizzy drinks, chips, or anything remotely unhealthy. But still, the weight piled on. My mom took me to a whole bunch of pediatricians, nutritionists, and other specialists in an attempt to figure out why I was putting on so much weight. But they all said the same things. My metabolism was slow. I must be eating too much. I must be secretly pigging out on junk food and candy after school. But I wasn't. After all, I hated being overweight. I was desperate to drop the pounds as much as my mom was. As I got older, my weight problems continued, and in my early 30s, I was diagnosed with hypertension or high blood pressure. I generally felt awful pretty much every day, tired, irritable, and achy, despite eating greens until they were coming out of my ears. Then, at the age of 38, something happened that really scared me. I was having an argument with my wife, Michelle, something stupid about me forgetting to put the garbage out, when I suddenly felt a searing pain in my chest. I collapsed to my knees and couldn't breathe. I thought I was going to die, and I wasn't even 40 years old. My wife called 911, and I was rushed to the emergency wing of our local hospital, where the doctors told me that 2 out of 3 of my major arteries in my heart were blocked. The third was also significantly narrowed. They told me I'd almost certainly suffered 2 heart attacks, and I was heading for a third, and probably fatal one. No one could say when I'd had the attacks, but I remember having some chest pains a few months before, but just put it down to heartburn. My doctors told me that if I didn't lose weight and fast, I'd be dead inside 6 months. I was shocked and scared. Naturally, they gave me all the usual advice about lowering my calorie intake, exercising, cutting out sugary and fatty foods. But I knew that it wouldn't work. After all, I've been doing this for years, but my weight never came down. That night, my 6-year-old daughter, Abigail, looked up at me with her big blue eyes and said, "Daddy, are you going to die?" I instantly crumbled and started crying right in front of my little girl. I couldn't imagine the thought of leaving her at the age of 38, not seeing her grow up, graduate, become a woman, or get the chance to walk her down the aisle when she got married. I promised myself that I'd do everything I could to find a way to lose weight and take the stress off my heart. I tried all kinds of alternative treatments that I'd laughed at before, but now I had no choice but to try them. I went through dozens of different diets, which were all complete and utter garbage and required me to cut out entire food groups. I tried alternative therapies, as well as online programs that claimed that my weight gain was all to do with the time I was eating my food. And if I started eating certain foods in the morning instead of the evening, the weight would drop off like a pair of baggy, fat guy jeans. Of course, that didn't work either, because it was ridiculous and made no sense at all. I was close to giving up. I felt angry that I was trying so hard but still putting on weight, when other people I knew were eating whatever they wanted and not gaining a single pound. But then, one Sunday morning, I came across an old online article in the Washington Post that changed everything. It was titled, "Scientists Link Weight to Gut Bacteria," and it referenced a study that had taken place back in 2006. Apparently, researchers at the Center for Genome Sciences at Washington University in St. Louis had discovered something incredible, a direct and irrefutable connection between weight gain and the levels of certain types of bacteria in the gut. According to two separate studies, which were published in the peer-reviewed journals Nature in 2006 and Science in 2009, it was found that obese mice had high levels of the bacteria called Firmicutes and a lower level of a family of bacteria called Bacteroidetes. In lean mice, the opposite was true. And even more amazingly, the same results were found in humans. The research team studied 4 sets of twins, where one twin was obese and the other was of a normal, healthy weight. In each set, the obese twin had higher levels of the fat-building bacteria Firmicutes and much lower levels of Bacteroidetes, while in the lean twins, it was the reverse. But get this. During another mouse study, the researchers raised lean mice in a germ-free environment so that their bodies would be free of any bacteria. Then transplanted the fat-building Firmicutes from the obese twins into the lean mice. You know what happened next? The lean mice got twice as fat. The evidence was clear. It seems that people who had more Firmicutes in their gut put on more weight, because this family of bacteria were adept at helping the body to extract calories from complex sugars and deposit those calories as fat. Lean people, on the other hand, had less Firmicutes and more Bacteroidetes, a friendly, slimming bacteria. These two families of bacteria were effectively regulating how much fat a person absorbed. According to the lead author of the study, Jeffrey Gordon, director of the Washington University Center for Genome Sciences, it was as if one group got far more calories from the same bowl of Cheerios than the other. Think about it. Imagine 2 identical twins eat exactly the same food. One of the twins, through no fault of their own, absorbs more calories than the other twin and puts on more weight. Imagine that this is going on with every meal for weeks, months, and years. It's not hard to see why some people put on weight so easily while others remain flagpole thin, even though their diet is much worse. It's all down to them having different ratios of these gut bacteria. That was it. It all made sense to me now. Finally, it explained why some of my friends could eat what they wanted and stay trim and lean, while I ate like a bird and continued to pack on the pounds month after month, year after year. After finishing the article, I jumped out of my chair and ran upstairs to my wife, excited to tell her the news. I wasn't lazy. I wasn't gluttonous. I didn't have a slow metabolism. I just had more fat-building bacteria than natural lean people. Amazingly, it was nothing more than bad luck that I was as heavy as I was and wasn't able to shift the excess weight. I literally couldn't. It was impossible. Unless I was able to increase my levels of slimming bacteria residing in my gut and reduce my levels of the bad fattening bacteria. But how could I do that? I was desperate to find the answer. My life literally depended on it. So I searched online for further study results and treatments based on the research. But I couldn't find anything. I couldn't understand it. Surely if these scientists had discovered that obesity is caused by an excess of Firmicutes in the gut, and lean people had more Bacteroidetes, then they would have created a simple treatment like a drug, for example, to address the imbalance. It would be the biggest single cure for obesity ever developed. It would be breaking news all over the world and would save hundreds of millions of lives within a matter of weeks. But there was nothing. Why? I had to find out. So that afternoon, I got on the phone to the Center for Genome Sciences at the Washington University School of Medicine in St. Louis, Missouri, to see if there was anyone there that could help me. And this is where things got really sinister. The lady on the phone was as nice as pie at first, But as soon as I mentioned the weight loss studies back in '06 and '09, she cut me off. I called back, only to be cut off again. Eventually, I managed to speak to someone else who told me that they had no record of these studies, or the researchers' names that I gave them, and that I must have been mistaken. I couldn't understand what was going on. Over the next few weeks, I wrote emails, letters, made hundreds of calls, desperately trying to get in touch with anyone involved with the original trials, to find out what happened to all the research, and why it had hit a dead end. 5 weeks passed, and I had nothing back. Not even an acknowledgement of my letters or emails. I'd all but given up hope and resigned myself to the fact that I'd probably be dead in the next few months. I might have a couple years if I was lucky. Then, completely out of the blue, I received an email that changed everything. It was from an anonymous Gmail account that the center had written just one single sentence. "Anthony," it said, "I was a researcher on the gut bacteria studies at the Center for Genome Sciences. I am willing to talk. Call me on." The email was signed Dr. David Forrest, and he gave a phone number for me to contact him on. I couldn't wait a single second to find out about what he had to say, so I called the number immediately. What followed was the single most important conversation of my entire life. Dr. Forrest explained that he was the co-researcher on both the mice and human trials, and his team had been absolutely amazed at what they found. They knew that they'd finally discovered the holy grail of weight loss, the real reason why certain people put on weight and others didn't, despite eating similar diets, and they were excited about developing a revolutionary weight loss drug. The team were expecting to be lauded for their discovery, and talk of Nobel Prizes was everywhere. This was big, and they knew it, Dr. Forrest said, but then something strange happened. Their request for further funding was denied. The research lab was shut down. The entire team was reassigned to other projects. Why would they want to stop the research? I asked Dr. Forrest. Surely, if they produced a drug, it would pretty much end the obesity epidemic overnight. Exactly, replied Dr. Forrest, and that's why it was shut down. What do you mean? I asked, confused about what I was hearing. Well, said Dr. Forrest, what most people don't know is that Big Pharma fund most of the major research institutions, and they were funding us at the Washington University School of Medicine. But when we stumbled on this discovery, they got scared and threatened to pull all of their funding if we continued with the research. The university couldn't afford to lose all of that money, so they were forced to go along with it. But why? I asked. Think how much money Big Pharma are making from the obesity epidemic, said Dr. Forrest. You've got literally thousands of different drugs treating obesity-related conditions like heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, osteoarthritis, kidney failure, liver problems, gallstones, neuropathy, and a whole lot more. Big Pharma are making hundreds of billions every year from obesity. Look at the stats. More than 1/3 of U.S. adults are obese, and that number is growing, he said. If Big Pharma produced a weight loss drug, they'd make money for sure, but they'd lose billions overnight. They'd literally cripple their business model, which is to keep people sick and needing their drugs. I couldn't believe what I was hearing, but it all made sense. The last thing Big Pharma wanted was any kind of effective treatment for obesity. But here's the thing. Dr. Forrest was so disgusted by the situation, he quit and never returned to medicine, and instead set out on a 3-year crusade to produce a treatment of his own. He knew that a drug wasn't needed at all because the fat-building bacteria could be dramatically reduced and the slimming bacteria increased using completely natural ingredients. So he went underground and began to put together a natural weight loss program designed to reduce firmicutes and increase bacteroidetes in the human gut. During his research, he discovered that a high-fiber diet was the key. According to one study he found, published in the Nature Immunology Journal, children in Burkina Faso in Africa were shown to have a diet very high in fiber and consequently had much lower levels of the fattening bacteria and much higher levels of the slimming bacteria. Dr. Forrest also found that increasing a person's levels of prebiotics, which are non-digestible carbohydrates in the form of dietary fiber, help to nourish the friendly slimming bacteria and help them grow in numbers. And the good news is prebiotics can be found in natural foods like garlic, onions, asparagus, beans, and bananas, amongst other things. According to Dr. Forrest, over the next few years he developed the ultimate list of fat burners, completely natural ingredients proven to regulate gut bacteria and redress the balance between the fattening gut bacteria and the slimming bacteria. He put it to the test on himself and his own family with remarkable results. Within just 30 days, both Dr. Forrest and his wife, Rebecca, lost 21 pounds between them. After 60 days, they lost a combined 42 pounds, and his extended family and friends experienced the same dramatic weight loss. But as word spread, the news about this miracle fat-burning treatment reached Big Pharma. Dr. Forrest was warned to keep quiet, and his family was threatened if he continued to publicize his research. So nothing more ever came of it. I understood Dr. Forrest's position, but my life depended on finding out what he knew. So I pleaded with him to share his secret with me. Eventually, he caved in and reluctantly agreed to email me the research. This has nothing to do with me, okay? And I'm not legally responsible for what you do with it, said Dr. Forrest. Of course, I said. I understand. And with that, he put the phone down. The next day, I was as excited as a kid on Christmas morning and put his weight loss program into action. Day 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 passed, and I'd barely lost a pound. As I moved into the second week, I was starting to doubt everything I'd been told, and I didn't look at the scales again for a whole week. But then, on day 13, something incredible happened, and it's continued every day since. I looked down at the scales, and I'd lost 8 pounds. I couldn't believe it. It was actually working. As the days and weeks went by, I dropped more and more weight. It was effortless. In fact, it was so easy I started eating takeouts again for the first time in years. And still, the weight continued to fall off. But not only that, I could feel the benefits too. My blood pressure levels came down, and I had much more energy. My concentration, focus, and memory improved. I began to feel like a different person. My wife couldn't believe the difference, and neither could I. My doctor said he'd never seen a more dramatic turnaround, and gave me the all clear. I didn't have to worry anymore. My heart was fine. My health was improving every day. I decided to call Dr. Forrest to thank him for everything he'd done, but I also wanted to talk to him for another reason. His weight loss treatment worked like nothing I'd ever seen before. It was a miracle, and I couldn't in good conscience keep it to myself. And when millions of people all over the world were suffering from obesity and all the health conditions that come with it, we have to get this out there, I said. People have to know about this. It could save millions of lives. Eventually, Dr. Forrest agreed that he couldn't let Big Pharma bully him anymore. It was time to fight back. So, with Dr. Forrest's help, I worked around the clock for 7 weeks to turn his original research into a comprehensive, step-by-step, and easy-to-follow weight loss system. And we called it Dr. Forrest's Fat-Burning Bible. The simple weight loss protocol contained the exact step-by-step process that I took to lose 142 pounds in 90 days, transform my health, and save my life in the process. And whether you want to lose 5 pounds or 105 pounds, this program will help you get there quickly, easily, and safely. In the Fat-Burning Bible, you will receive the most up-to-date and complete list of Dr. Forrest's miracle ingredients, scientifically proven to boost the numbers of slimming bacteria in your stomach and lower the fat-boosting bacteria. As well as this list of fat-burning superfoods, you will also be given a recipe guide and meal plan, which comes complete with 21 delicious and easy-to-prepare recipes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, which will remove all of the hard work and allow you to include all of these ingredients in every single meal, so you can reach your ideal weight even faster. And don't think for a minute that this will be like all those fad diets out there that require you to starve yourself, cut out entire food groups, or search out bizarre foods only found on the other side of the world. All you need to do is swap out certain foods for others and add specific natural ingredients to your meals, which will help you to reduce or even wipe out the fat-building bacteria that right now are multiplying in your stomach and turning virtually everything you eat into stored fat. And what's more, these completely natural ingredients can be picked up at your local grocery store for no more than a few pennies. That's literally all it takes to start repopulating your stomach with friendly slimming bacteria, kill off the bad bacteria, and start losing weight. And just imagine for a moment how that would feel. Imagine looking in the mirror in just a few weeks from now and seeing a slimmer, leaner, and happier person staring back at you. Imagine how much more confidence you will have when you finally get that flat stomach you've always wanted, lean and trim thighs, and a more toned and shapely butt. Imagine the look on people's faces, or maybe even your ex, when they see just how incredible you look. And imagine being able to dramatically reduce your risk of succumbing to any number of deadly health conditions brought about by being overweight, like heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, and much more, dramatically improving your health and life expectancy in an instant. Thousands of men and women just like you are experiencing all of these benefits right now, thanks to Dr. Forrest's Fat-Burning Bible. People like Fiona Kinsella of Newport, Rhode Island, who said, "I've been struggling with weight issues since I was a child. I've always felt it was very unfair that despite eating the same meals as my brothers and sisters, I just kept putting on weight, and they didn't. Last year I became very depressed at my spiraling weight hitting 190 pounds, and my doctor prescribed antidepressants. A friend of mine recommended your program, and to me the change has been dramatic. I have lost 15 pounds in 28 days, and it was so simple. And Alexander Ford of Rockport, Massachusetts, who wrote in to say this: 3 months ago, my girlfriend of 4 years left me because she said I had gotten too fat. I was absolutely heartbroken and angry because I've always tried to eat healthy. Since finding your weight loss protocol, I've lost over 40 pounds. Confidence has returned. I recently met a girl who I'm crazy about. My ex started texting me after she saw me, which made me feel even better. Thank you, Anthony. And Nell Peters of Chicago, Illinois, emailed in to say this: I just want to thank you, Anthony and Dr. Forrest, for changing my life. Before I discovered your program, I was at rock bottom. I'd recently gotten divorced from my husband and had been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. My weight had ballooned. I was severely depressed. Within just 2 months of starting your program, I have lost just over 24 pounds and I feel amazing. With results like these and many thousands of other people thanking myself and Dr. Forrest for fighting back against Big Pharma and finally releasing this research to the American people, I am sure you can understand why we considered charging as much as $497 for this program. After all, when you think that each and every one of the natural ingredients included in this system has been scientifically proven to increase the slimming bacteria in your gut and reduce the fat-building bacteria, you only have to imagine how powerful this program is when every single one of those ingredients is added together and consumed over weeks and months. Plus, just think about how much money you'll be saving on things like diet programs, gym memberships, and future medical bills when you know exactly what it takes to lose weight. After all, according to a recent study published in the Journal of Health Economics, obese men rack up an additional $1,152 a year in medical spending, especially for hospitalizations and prescription drugs, while obese women spend an extra $3,613 a year. That's a heck of a lot of money to be spending every year. So I'm sure you can see that $497 for a weight loss program that can help you avoid all this is just a drop in the ocean. But you know what? I didn't set up this website to make money. I did it to help many millions of Americans who are struggling to lose weight and don't know why. And also to put 2 fingers up at the pharmaceutical companies who are making billions every year treating obesity-related health conditions with their expensive drugs rather than actually trying to fix the cause. So for that reason, you're not going to have to pay $497. In fact, I'm not even going to ask you for half that amount or even a quarter. Instead, all I'm asking for today is a one-time payment of just $37. And all you need to do to lock in this special price is click on the Add to Cart button below. When you do, you'll be taken straight through to our secure checkout page where you can enter your details. And you will be given instant access to our exclusive members area, where you can download the entire program to your computer, mobile, or tablet. But that's not all you'll be getting if you order today. To say thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation, and because both myself and Dr. Forrest want you to have everything you need to start losing weight quickly and safely, when you order today, you will also receive a completely free bonus ebook called Foods That Make You Fat. In this free bonus, I reveal all of the nasty foods that boost the production of fat-building firmicutes, so you know exactly what to avoid in the future. And you will also receive a second bonus ebook called False Friends, where you'll discover the 10 most dangerous health foods on the planet. Shockingly, these foods are marketed as healthy and slimming by the food industry, but in fact, are completely the opposite and will pack on the pounds in no time. But that's not all you'll be getting. You see, I understand that you may be a little skeptical right now. After all, every expert you have ever spoken to will have repeatedly told you that your weight gain is all down to you being lazy, eating too much, making poor food choices, and not getting enough exercise, or that you have a slow metabolism. So if you're thinking that all this sounds too good to be true and can't possibly work, well, as I've said, then I don't blame you at all. Because what I'm telling you goes against everything you think you know. So here's the deal. I'm going to remove 100% of the risk for you and offer you a 60-day money-back guarantee. You can then put my program to the test for a full 2 months. Try out all the ingredients, the delicious recipes, and the 2 bonuses, and if you don't achieve the weight loss you've hoped for, or you simply change your mind for any reason at all, then simply send me an email and I will refund every single penny of your investment with no questions asked. But I urge you to act now, because Big Pharma are doing everything they possibly can to force me to take this website down. I've had 4 separate lawsuits filed against me and have been physically threatened on more than one occasion. I won't be able to compete with the power of their legal teams, and I can't risk the safety of my family or Dr. Forrest's any more than I already have. So, it's time to make your decision, and you have 2 options. 1, you can continue on as you are, overweight, unhappy, and hating your body. You can carry on wasting your time and money on useless diets that will never work, and spend the rest of your life counting calories and obsessing about everything you eat. And bear in mind, if you don't do anything about your weight now, you will inevitably get bigger. And every day that you do nothing to change this, you will be increasing your risk of developing life-threatening illnesses, like heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, osteoarthritis, kidney and liver problems, and much more. In short, you're on a runaway train heading towards an early grave. And if you think I'm exaggerating, according to a recent study at Columbia University, 1 in 5 U.S. deaths is now associated with obesity, which is more than 3 times higher than previous estimates. These are the risks you're taking if you continue to ignore your weight. Or you can take the second option and invest just $37 today in Dr. Forrest's Fat Burning Bible, which you can download to your PC, tablet, or phone in the next 2 minutes. And remember, you can put this revolutionary weight loss system to the test for a full 60 days, completely risk-free. This is your chance to discover the secret to quick and easy weight loss, transform your body, your confidence levels, and self-esteem, and protect your health for decades to come. And all you need to do to get started is click the button below. This has been Anthony Turner, and I look forward to hearing your success story very soon. Still here? No problem. After all, I bet you're a little surprised, even shocked at everything you've just seen and heard. And you probably still have a few questions that you'd like answering. So to help you out, I've compiled a list of the most frequently asked questions that I receive to make sure you have all the information you need to make an informed decision. And one of the most common questions I get is this: how does the weight loss protocol work? Well, to put it simply, there are 2 prominent families of bacteria that reside in the human gut: Firmicutes and Bacteroidetes. Everybody has them, but during peer-reviewed clinical trials, it was discovered that obese people have an excess of the fat-building Firmicutes and fewer Bacteroidetes, which are known as the slimming bacteria. But there are certain natural foods that have been shown to kill off Firmicutes and promote the growth of Bacteroidetes, repopulating your gut with good, friendly bacteria that help you burn energy more easily, rather than store it as fat. This groundbreaking research is currently revolutionizing how the world views obesity and weight gain. Another common question I receive is this: Anthony, if this protocol works so well, why haven't Big Pharma licensed it themselves? Well, first of all, it is important that you understand that the weight loss protocol that Dr. Forrest developed uses 100% natural ingredients, and natural ingredients cannot be patented. That means the pharmaceutical industry can't profit from them. Of course, the way around this is to develop a drug, which Dr. Forrest's research team were planning to do before they were shut down. Because as I explained earlier on in the presentation, creating a drug that cures obesity is not in Big Pharma's interest. They make billions every year selling drugs for obesity-related health conditions, like heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, osteoarthritis, kidney and liver problems, polycystic ovarian syndrome, neuropathy, and much more. If they cured obesity, they'd cripple their business model overnight. And that's why Big Pharma are desperately trying to stop me from releasing this treatment to the general public. Another question I often get asked: will this weight loss protocol work for me? And my answer to that is yes, absolutely. The bacteria that resides in your gut, good and bad, are the 2 most prominent families of bacteria in the human stomach. As I said, everybody has them. But unfortunately, overweight people seem to have more of the bad bacteria than the good. And this system is 100% proven to redress the imbalance, allowing anyone to lose weight quickly, easily, and safely. In fact, almost 24,000 people have now used this weight loss system, and not a single person has contacted me to say they haven't lost weight. So the evidence is there that this system will work for you too. Plus, you can try it out completely risk-free. And that brings me on to another commonly asked question: is there a money-back guarantee? And of course, the answer is yes. The truth is, if this system doesn't help you lose weight, I don't want your money. It's as simple as that. After all, I didn't create this website to get rich. I did it to help people because I've been where you are, and I understand how difficult it is to be overweight and unable to control it, to have self-esteem and confidence issues, and to suffer from health problems brought about by excess weight. I've been there, believe me. So to help you get started, I'm taking all of the risk. In short, if you don't lose weight and experience the incredible health benefits of Dr. Forrest's Fat Burning Bible in the next 60 days, then all you need to do is email me at the address provided in the members area, and I will refund 100% of your investment. So you have absolutely nothing to lose. Finally, I often get asked how long the program will be available for, and my honest answer is that I don't know. As I explained earlier in the presentation, Big Pharma are desperately trying to force us to take down this website because they're currently raking in billions every year, selling medications for a variety of obesity-related health conditions. There's only so long I can keep this website up because, as you know, money talks, and Big Pharma will eventually get what they want. So if you want a proven, natural, 100% safe way to burn fat, lose weight, quickly and easily, and dramatically improve your health in the long term, then I urge you to order now, while you still can. To get started, simply click the button below, and I'll see you on the inside.